Okay, classics. So now we are at culture and science in the ancient period. Now India has a rich and varied culture. Every dynasty that ruled in India had something to her heritage. Whatever they were there for, as long they were there, they were things that what people did during that time. So I'm going to just give you a brief explanation, summary, and then you have to read through and follow the question answers. Okay? Well, great. So let's start. See, like if we talk about the part of India, actually, what was mm, the culture of it? It was the Indian subcontinent, the north and the Himalayan mountains or whatever the Deccan Plateau we have, the Ganges, South India, the southern tip of India, it is hilly and dry, the coastal regions of India are lush and all. India is dependent on only a monsoon and season, right? That was all about ancient India. Now, Indian civilization, first from Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, we try to see, early civilization in India flourished the valleys of the Indus River between 3000 BCE to 1500 BCE. Okay. Then what happened is, at its height, Harappa had about coming out, we had 35,000 people living there. Public wells were used to supply water, bathrooms had advanced drainage. The Harappans had one of the world's first sewerage systems. That's what the ancient history is all coming upon. This is the culture and science of the ancient period. Now, if we go to see, the temples built around 1500 CC by the Harappans were conquered by the Aryans, and the group moved from Hindu Kush, Southeast Asia into northern India. Okay, now the Aryans excelled at the art of war, and over the next 500 years they advanced eastward from the Indus Valley across the Ganges plain. They eventually moved south into the Deccan Plateau and extended their control over most of India. Basic information. Okay, so after that, the Aryan culture. There was in the Aryan culture what happened after settling in India. The Aryans settled as farmers, introduction of iron near Mesopotamia helped the Aryans to settle in India. They used into plows to farm, irrigate, used iron tools to help clear the dense jungle growth along the Ganges River. Sanskrit enabled them to write down legends, religious chants and rituals. The history written between 1500 and 400 BC portrayed India as separate warrior kingdoms with leaders carving out small territories and fighting other kings. The conquest of India by the Aryans had a lasting or an impact on Indian society and lasted through the modern times. Aryan culture. That is what is happening in history. Now came the Brahmins. The famous caste system came in. The Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, the Sudras, the Parya or the Harijans or the children of God, untouchables. They were done according to their occupations, they were given names. Now, the Brahmins, the priestly class, who were the members called Brahmins, were in the top social state scale. They were in charge of the religious ceremonies. Kshatriyas were the warriors, Vaishyas were the common people, Sudras were the largest part of India's population. The Sudras were not Aryans, and the term Sudras probably referred to dark-skinned natives Indian, like me. I am a Sudra, if you want to say, I am dark-skinned. Most Sudras were peasants or manual laborers. They only had limited rights in the society. Now, untouchables. Untouchables, the lowest level of Indian society, the untouchables were given menial degradation tasks to the others would not accept, such as collecting trash or handling the dead. They lived difficult lives as their presence was considered harmful to members of other classes. None of the other classes would eat food handled by untouchables, and they lived in separate areas away from the other classes. This was bad. Now, family was the most basic unit of the Indian society. It was not uncommon for three generations, grandparents, parents, and children to live under one roof. People are still living in your family, also it's happening. The family was patriarchal, led by the oldest person in the house who held legal authority over every member of the family. Now, Indians believe in the superiority of the male over the female. Only males could inherit property. There were sometimes exceptions if there were no sons. Women could not be priests and were rarely educated. Upper class men were not supposed to marry until they completed 12 years of study. Men could take a second wife if the first did not bear children. Marriages were arranged by the parents and the girls often married very young. This is the culture which is happening, I am telling you. The most vivid symbol of male dominance was the ritual of sati, where women were expected to throw themselves on their husband's funeral fire and thus die with their husband. That was the most pathetic scene. Then came in Hinduism. Hinduism had its origin in the religious beliefs of the Aryan people who settled in India after 1500 BCE. The Aryan people left behind the Vedas, which is there in your book. Collection of hymns and religious ceremonies that were passed down through the centuries and eventually written down. Early Hindus believed in the existence of a single force in the universe, a form of ultimate reality of God, or called Brahma or Brahmand. It was the duty of the individual self called the Atma to seek to know his ultimate reality. Okay. Then comes Hinduism, death, birth, rebirth, reincarnation, all these things came in. And after that, Hinduism itself, there was their belief in karma and dharma allowed them to justify the privilege of higher classes. They earned it through good karma and reincarnation. It also justified the treatment of the lower classes who brought on their status through bad karma. Okay. Then we have the Hindu gods. Okay. The Hindu religion had many human-like gods and goddesses that were worshipped by ordinary people. The three main gods were Brahman, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. These gods were worshipped in religious temples and with religious ceremonies and holidays, which is still going on. Now in the 6th century BCE, a new religion called Buddhism appeared in the northern India and soon rivaled Hinduism. Buddhism was founded by Siddhartha Gautama, known as Buddha or Enlightened One. Now Siddhartha Gautama was from a small village in the Himalaya, Nepal. Born around 563 BC, he was the son of the wealthy ruling family. He was raised well, married a princess at the age of 16 and started a family. In his 20s, Siddhartha became aware of the pain and illness, sorrow of death and effects of old age on ordinary people. He decided to spend his life seeking the cure of human suffering. He gave up his wealth, abandoned his family and set off to find the meaning of life. Okay. Then comes the noble truths we have done, the 4 noble truths of Buddhism we have done, the eightfold path is, eightfold path is there. Then Buddhism himself, his followers spread Buddhism throughout India. Temples and monasteries sprang up throughout India and provided housing and training for monks dedicated to the simple life or to the pursuit of wisdom. Now Siddhartha also rejected the multitude of gods in Hinduism. He said God is only one. Then the new empires came. Between 1500 and 400 BC, the Aryans were unable to unify India. After 400 BCE, India faced threats from the west. Persia, Greece and Macedonia all invaded India. The most effective invasion came from Alexander Great in 327. The map shows the extent of Alexander's empire. Full of India he took over, except South India, some parts. Alexander wanted to conquer all of India, but his soldiers refused to continue, who left India, and the Mauryan dynasty was able to unite much of India in his wake when he was there. Then comes the Mauryan dynasty, then we have done the Kush kingdom and the Silk Route, the Guptas came in, the Indian culture and innovation. The earliest known literature in India were the Vedas. I'll come back in the next video. You have to follow my video, you have to listen to it and you have to go through your book. It's all part by part.